a green leaf plant with spikes on it from the other side of the river, and cooked it. It was quite nice. It was a vegetable. You had to eat a hell of a lot to achieve anything. But yeah, we had to go. We got occasionally a bit of dried fish from the Jap, and it was in this camp, the second one, that Harry and I had all the cross-strife trouble with one guard that was an absolute bastard. One finger missing and 4 fingers, and with a couple of workers of his own ilk, but they were all right. They didn't belch up, and it was just 4 fingers that belted people up and did all stupid things like tying you up and all that sort of thing.
Yes. And
running around with either a samurai sword and poking it in your crotch and in your legs and make you bleed. And only twice did he hang us up and on a spike, on a post with a spike in it, a rail spike in it, hands tied together and hang there for a couple of days.
Did you have an experience where you had to give some medical treatment to a...
Oh, you coming on the last camp, absolute blinder. Things changed. After 12 months in one camp with Harry, we had 1,027 natives left. Harry went to one camp with 500. I went to the second camp with 527. The Japs were entirely different. Entirely different. They were kind. They spoke a bit of English. They still spoke Malay, which had been a necessity for anybody working there to learn the Malay language, or Pidgin Malay, I suppose. But this bloke approached me after we'd been there a couple of days, and intimated he was girl sick. He was Spioki. Eventually said girl sick, and can I treat him? I said, on the condition that you get the medication. I had a syringe. He disappeared for a couple of days, came back from Tarkanoon, and he had some neosalpicin, and I proceeded to give him half a dose every couple of days, or twice a week, for which he paid me $20, 20 baht each.
Treatment?
Yeah, and I guess that would have kept him in control and under control until he got somewhere where he could either not get any, or he would get back home. But he was a nice bloke, really. He was easy, with almost butter in one's putty in one's hand. I asked him first up, in the first day or second day I was there, that would he permit me to build a hospital? So yes, I could build a hospital which had 5 beds in it, I think, and just a little hut. Then I asked him, could I have a boy to help me and be the nurse? So I got a young Tamil lad of about 20 who became my batman, if you like to call it that, my helper, and he helped with the nursing and did little messages for us. And then after I'd been giving the Chapo his little couple of injections per week, I put the hard word on him for some quinine, some inky. Some few days later, I was called to the railway line, and there, right beside where the train had stopped, was this old 4-gallon petrol tin, or whatnot, full of quinine. When I opened it, it had all this quinine sulphate in it. So I was straight onto the quinine to try and help mine, but I found great difficulty adjusting the dosage to treat my malaria. It just didn't seem to work. And maybe it was quinine sulphate instead of quinine hydrochloride, and maybe it was that which sure I was overworked or something, underpaid and such much, but it didn't really work well with me, but I still kept a little bit hidden.
Did you get the thumping headaches and
oh, no.
and
yeah, I used to get those. Thank you very much.
yes,
The
deafness.
Thinking back, yes, I did have ringing in the ears from the quinine, yeah. But it was nothing.
Now,
and that I was only there for 2 months. So, say 2 months. And then the place was bombed. The British sent bombers over and they splattered the place. The next morning I was on a train back to
Kanchanaburi or the Tamarkan.
And in there about a week. When I got down to Tamarkan, I was searched. I had quite a bit of quinine with me. I had a couple of ampoules of vitamin A, I had a couple of ampoules of this, that and t'other. I had the syringe, I had 400 baht in the wallet. I had photos in my wallet. And they did a search. They took every single skerrick of medication I had on it, including the syringe. And they missed in my wallet the 400 baht, which was a lot of money. And I gave that to some of our 2nd, 3rd MAC boys that were in the little camp. And they went off and bought a whole heap of tucker so that the whole camp could have it. And the Japs were only interested in looking at the photos that were left in the wallet.
Of course, Takanoon and Kanchanaburi were totally different from the camps up the line.
Entirely so, yes. They were all our own people, just spoke English down there. And that's where they had a dentist, name forgotten, who extracted one upper molar from my head and just about pulled all my brains out. That's what it felt like anyway.
With or without anaesthetic?
Without anaesthetic, of course. There wasn't any of that stuff up there.
And then where'd you go from
there, Tamarkan, we went on the train up to Nakhon Pathom. From Nakhon Pathom, I think I spent only one night there. Was moved up to Tarkri. From Tarkri we went up to another camp which was right beside an airstrip that was being built. Met up with a whole heap of the doctors that had been in Changi. There was Jock Frew and a couple of others whom I knew quite well. Granny Fern, I think, was there. Not quite sure of that.
Frew was one of your K-Force doctors. Did you ever see him when you were working with the coolies?
No.
Did you see any other Australian?
No, never saw another. Oh, sorry. Saw Brian Hutchison. No, I saw not Brian Hutchison. Brian Hutchison was with us. I saw Bruce Costello go by in a little dumpy truck that was going along the train and waved to him. That's the only one from that I recognised.
That's one of your 2nd, 3rd MAC men, is it?
Yeah, 2nd, 3rd MAC medical wing blokes.
Now, if we go forward now to the time when the atomic bomb had gone, 2 atomic bombs had been dropped in
of which we knew
Japan.
nothing.
Yes.